Hi, I'm Naman. I study PPE at Oxford University. This is video 1 in our series on how to get into Oxbridge. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Supra-curriculars. These are, I think, the difference between getting into Oxbridge and not making a successful application. I'm going to tell you what they are, why they're so important, and what it takes to really smash the Supra-curriculars to make a successful application to Oxbridge. So what are Supra-curriculars? Supra-curriculars are all the activities that you do to support your subject done outside of school. So things like reading books, listening to podcasts, watching lectures, maybe volunteering. And these are separate from extracurriculars. So extracurriculars are those activities you do outside of school that don't give anything to your subject. So like playing football or practicing the cello. To be honest, Oxford and Cambridge don't really care about your extracurriculars. What they really care about is your supra-curriculars, those things that are related to your subject. Why are they so important? Because they're going to demonstrate to your admissions tutors 3 things. Number 1, that you have some knowledge that goes beyond what you've learnt in school. Number 2, that you have this genuine and broad and deep interest in your subject. And number 3, that you have the capacity to learn independently. And that third one's really important because a lot of the learning done at Oxford and Cambridge is actually done independently. And the tutors want to see that you are capable of doing that, that you thrive in that kind of environment. If you've done the work, it really is going to show. It's going to show in your personal statement, in your admissions test essays, and in your interview itself. Because you're going to have more examples to draw from, you're going to be able to better connect ideas, and you're going to be able to talk with some genuine enthusiasm. So, how do you smash your supra-curriculars? We talked to our UniReach mentors, that's over 400 Oxford and Cambridge students who have obviously made a successful application, and they told us how they did it. These are their tips. Number 1, follow your interests. A great place to start is your course website. It's going to have introductory texts, maybe podcasts and lectures too. And those are really useful places to start, but they're not going to end up in your personal statement or your interview, and they're not going to get you into Oxford or Cambridge. That's because they're really generic. I mean, everybody who's applying has done those activities, and they're also really bland. They're not showing your unique interest, your unique passion. But what they are useful for is as a jumping off point, a starting board, for you to find out what actually excites you in this subject. For example, I applied for PPE. One of the first things I read was An Introduction to Political Philosophy by Jonathan Wolfe. And that's, I think, one of the recommendations on the Oxford PPE website. From reading that, I found that one of the things I find really exciting is this topic of liberty, free speech. So from there, I read John Stuart Mill's On Liberty, which is this classic philosophical text. And then after reading that, I read some articles, listened to some podcasts about hate speech online. I tried to connect those ideas in my head. And this is really useful because it's going to show the tutors that you have that capacity to learn independently. Now, a great place to go to for supra-curricular recommendations is the UniReach website. We've got tons of recommendations for you. So let's say you've developed an interest in surgery and you're applying for medicine. Well, we've got tons of articles, books, lectures, everything that you might need for you to be able to explore that topic in more depth. And every single one of them has further recommendations, further steps for what you should do next to delve in deeper into that niche within that topic. Number 2, reflect and record. So it's important that you're not just doing these activities, but you're thinking about them too. Let's say you listen to a podcast. At the same time, I want you to be thinking to yourself, what is this person saying? Do I agree with their argument? Maybe their argument relies on certain assumptions. Are those assumptions justifiable, or do I have certain doubts about them? How does what this person's saying fit in with what I already know or what I've learned from elsewhere? And how might I apply what this person's saying, whether it's a concept, an argument, a principle, how might I apply that to a new context, and what might it look like there? And the second part of that is record. I need you to make a record of everything you do, every podcast, every article, everything you do, make a note of it. That notes file on your phone is going to be enormously useful for you when it comes to writing a personal statement and preparing for interview. The same goes for things like work experience, or let's say you visit an art museum and you're applying for art history. I want you to make a note of what you saw that day, what you learned, what you found surprising, what you found challenging, what you found was problematic, or what you liked, what you disliked. All of these things, make a note of them because you're going to forget, and you want that record there for you so you can have some really interesting things to say about that experience when it comes to your personal statement, when it comes to your interview. Number 3, make it a routine. So I've told you an enormous amount of activities to be getting along with. How are you going to make sure you actually do them? Well, I found a really useful way is to embed them into my daily routine. So for example, when I wake up, I would get ready for school, and then at the bus stop, I would pull out my phone and read The Economist Espresso and read some articles in BBC News, get me up to date on current affairs. Then when I'm on the bus to and from school, I would read whatever book I'm reading at that time. And then in the evening, when I'm exercising, instead of putting music on, I'd put on a podcast. And finally, I'd make it a rule that every night before bed, I would watch a short video, watch a lecture. In that way, you really quickly build up this enormous bank of resources, and you're developing your interest in the subject, your knowledge in the subject, so quickly without even thinking about it. And it's really going to impress the tutors when it comes around to making that application. So there you have it. Those are 3 tips for you to smash your Supra-curriculars, give yourself a fighting chance of getting into Oxbridge. Number 1, follow your interests. Number 2, reflect and record. And number 3, make it a part of your routine. Now, before you go, I want to tell you one more thing. UniReach is a really awesome charity. What we do is we connect Oxbridge applicants with current Oxbridge students for free application advice and support. Now, you can access that application advice and support completely free whenever you want by going to our website, www.unireach.co.uk. I've got the link in the description. All you do is you request a session, tell us what course you want to apply for, what times work for you, and we'll find you a current student doing that subject or a similar subject who can give you whatever you need for half an hour, whether that's doing a mock interview, looking over your personal statement, answering questions you might have about Oxbridge lifestyle or about the course. Anything you need, they can give it to you for half an hour, completely free. And you can use that service as many times as you want. I wish I had it when I was applying to Oxbridge. So there you have it. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck with your application.